Welcome, ladies, gentlemen, gamers and Whovians, to Garry's mod Doctor Who. Now, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the classic Who TARDIS interiors and exteriors for the 1963 to the 1980s Doctor Who movie. These are all the TARDIS interiors. Now, I've just realised I have forgotten to add one last interior, which is McGann's movie interior, which I should just add here. Now, we shall work our way from Hartnell's original TARDIS all the way to McGann's, through the Ranis, the War Masters, the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, all the way to the 8th. So let's start with the first Doctor's TARDIS. The outside of the TARDIS is relatively small compared to the modern Who. It's a lot of detail, as you can see from the window frames. Walking round, you can really get the size comparison from this compared to the new Doctor Who TARDIS interiors. Now, as you go inside, you are met with the secondary door. When opened, you are met with the interior of the control room. This is a very bright design, featuring the clock, this weird gold thing, some chairs, and I believe a sundial. The centre console has a variety of levers which you can flick. Some of them do things, like this one for example, controls the power of the TARDIS. This turns all the lights off. Round here you have the light boxes with, I believe, ventilation shafts and a monitor. Round the back here basically does absolutely nothing. It's more here for just the design. In here we have another room featuring a chair, some tables, and this. It doesn't really do anything, it just kind of makes a sound effect. Yeah, I have no clue what this is. I haven't watched much classic Doctor Who. I've only really watched the new re-release. These do turn, but they have no effect to the sound. So this is the TARDIS of the first Doctor. Next we move to the second Doctor's TARDIS. The exterior of this TARDIS, I believe, is the exact same as Hartnell's. However, I think there's a bit more wear and tear to the surface of this TARDIS. However, I cannot really tell from my monitor. As you enter the TARDIS, you're met with the same secondary door. However, the interior of the TARDIS, I would say, is much darker. I feel that there is a much darker feel to the TARDIS, and also I think there is shadowing which wasn't on the previous TARDIS. However, this might just be me. As you move to the centre console, it's the exact same as the Hartnell with the same monitor. However, I believe this one actually shows the Hartnell it shows the Troughton intro, not the Hartnell one. However, I might be wrong. The secondary room here is the exact same as the Hartnell one with the exact same sound effects. But to me, it appears much darker. As we move to the third Doctor's and fourth Doctor's first TARDIS interior, the outside, as you can see, has changed colour. It's a lot lighter blue, and the glass seems to be more silvery, and the police telephone pull to open thing is black compared to the original white. As you enter the TARDIS, the secondary doors open with the first doors of the exterior of the TARDIS. This room is extremely bland, and there is not really much to do here, as from what I can tell, most of the controls don't actually do anything. Moving on, we have the Fourth Doctor's secondary control room. The outside of this TARDIS is horrible. I believe it doesn't actually look anything like the exterior of the Fourth Doctor's secondary, as I believe it looks more like this. However, I would say it does work, as it helps you differentiate between the two TARDISes. As you enter the inside of the TARDIS, which apparently my player model is too big to enter, you are met with the wooden control room. This control room's relatively large, as it features a secondary corridor which doesn't really go anywhere, and it also has an Easter egg. I believe the Easter egg is this button, which opens a door to a very small room with a very weird looking picture. Also, the monitor here can be opened by this button here. I don't know how to access the visual UI, as I don't really use this TARDIS. If you do know, please say in the comments. Moving on. Next, we have the 5th and 6th Doctor's TARDIS. I also believe this might be the 7th Doctor's TARDIS as well. However, I thought his exterior looked more like McGann's. As you open the TARDIS, you are met with the very technologically advanced TARDIS interior. The doors are not linked in this one. However, there is a big door switch which does close and open these doors. In my opinion, this TARDIS is a lot easier to use because everything is labelled. For example, the scanner window and the visual UI are both labelled so you can see them. The cloaking device is labelled. However, this is the only room this door does not open. The exterior of this TARDIS is a lot darker blue. However, there is not as much wear on the outside of this TARDIS as to the originals, but the windows are lighter and this is blue instead of black or white. Moving on, we have the Scream of the Schalke TARDIS. I don't actually know what this TARDIS is from. It might just be a custom made one from Gmod. However, I believe that it is actually a Doctor Who episode for the 3rd Doctor, but I'm not too sure. The exterior of this TARDIS is relatively simple. There is not much detail to the wood graining, and there is no police phone box sign here, but there is across the top. As you open the TARDIS doors, you're met with a set of very large doors, of which my player model is too big to access again. These doors then open to reveal, I think, the largest TARDIS interior even, with a very nice control room here, with yet again labelled levers as to what everything does. It does have a door here, but I believe it doesn't actually work. It has staircases which go up, unfortunately, to nothing. But yes, this is a very nice interior, and it's very nice to run around in, even though there is not much you can run around to. Moving on to the next TARDIS, we have the Rani's TARDIS. I believe this is from the 5th Doctor's era, when he regenerates into the 6th Doctor, but yet again, I'm not too sure. The outside of the TARDIS, I believe, is a wardrobe, but yet again, I could be wrong. When you open the door, you're met with a very bland interior, which leads to this. I've never really liked this interior, but it is easy to use as everything is labelled. However, I originally thought that this would open, allowing you to see a UI. I think it's a UI. Yeah. This interior is very bland. There's no extra rooms you can access. And yet again, it does feature these lighting things at the top, which I think are from the original set pieces. Next up, we have the Master's Tardis. I believe this is just the bland TT capsule. I don't know what type of TARDIS this is. But when you open it up, you have a very large TARDIS interior with a very loud interior noise. Nothing here is labelled. I believe this part is taken from the Capaldi and Matt Smith's 7B TARDIS interior. However, I'm not too sure. This TARDIS is very bland, and I don't actually know which button it is, but this can open to show the sky, which can be changed using this. Moving on to the final TARDIS exterior. This is Paul McGann's TARDIS. This TARDIS has very good detail on the windows. It's got a very large sense of wear all around the wood. However, there isn't much graining from what I can see. As you open it, I can't fit, can I? No. You're met with a very large door, which can be opened. When closed, it does feature, well, if it does close, the seal of Rassilon, along with the seal of Rassilon up here. As you come in, this TARDIS interior is absolutely huge. It features these weird people. It has a hidden area, which unfortunately is empty. It's very, very cool how they've added in some secret features. I am now stuck in that. The large centre console is very difficult to control the TARDIS with, as I have not yet been able to find a way to manually move the TARDIS from this interior. But it does have a door switch from here. So yeah, that is all the classic Doctor Who TARDISes. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Doctor Who Gmod, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.